Hope everybody had a safe drive in, whether it was this morning or whether you came last night. Just show of hands, who drove in last night and stayed? Okay, good deal. Welcome to Pasco County. Thanks for being here. My name is Andrew Baxter. I'm the Director of Facilities Management here in Pasco County. I've got a few of my team up on the back over here, and we welcome you. So just as we move through today, if you take your phones out, scan that QR code, you'll have the entire package up on Google Drive for all the presentations over this entire 2 days, the agenda, a map to some of the restaurants in the area, the hotel information. Just we tried to make it simple, so I'll give you a second to scan that QR code, tap the link, and hopefully it all works magically. I tested it. It worked for me. Magically. Let me know. Everybody good? We can come back to it. All right, moving off of it. Well, there we go. So a little bit about Pasco County now that you're here. We are a county of about 868 square miles, but 747 of that is actual land. We're a coastal county, so we've got a lot of coastal land, but we also have a lot of waterways within the county. We've got 3 major rivers that run through the county. We have a population of close to 600,000 here in the county, and that makes us the 12th most populous county in the state of Florida. But we are very unique because as a county, we have very few cities. And in fact, the cities that we do have are pretty tiny. And so 92% of our residents, the county is their first line of government. And so that is tremendous, which if you were to take that and think of us as the city that represents just your average citizen, then if you would take that 535,000, we would actually be the second largest direct provider of services in the state, which is really kind of crazy to think about. We don't ever really think about ourselves that way, but when you do the math, that's what it is. And so we face pretty unique challenges here in Pasco because we are the most direct line of government to our citizenry. So again, we're part of the greater Tampa Bay region here. For facilities management here in Pasco, we have 89 team members. We're divided into 3 divisions. Our real property and planning division consists of 10 team members. In fact, our real property and planning manager is back there, Heather Wolf. Raise your hand. Thank you. So thanks to Heather and her team for taking care of all of our real estate and future look ahead. Our facilities master plan is involved in that. And you can kind of see theoretically here in this sort of Venn diagram how I call this our facilities life cycle. It's acquisition, disposition, some asset management, but our master plan lives in that realm as well. And then we move into construction and renovation. TJ Pichet is our division head over that section. He is on vacation this week. He's sorry that he wasn't able to be here. And then that's about project management, working with design and construction firms, and commissioning, that wonderful handoff to our O&M teams to make sure everything is perfect and smooth, right? We all do that, right? We all hope we do that. And then finally, we have our operations and maintenance division. And we have 3 zones in the county. We have an east maintenance team, a central maintenance team, and a west maintenance team. And then we also have a kind of a support team called our operations team. And so our division head in operations and maintenance is also on vacation this week. And but our assistant manager for O&M, Tom Johnson, is over here. Tom, raise your hand. So if we ever have any questions related to O&M side of the house, Tom is more than welcome to answer any of those questions you have. So that's facilities in a nutshell here. We have about a $128 million budget right now. As you can see, our operating budget is about $18.5 million. We do about $2 million worth of non-CIP projects, at least that's what we call them here. They're those renewal replacement projects. New elevator, new replacement roof, those type of things. Then we have just regular kind of general funded or programmed capital projects, those CIP projects. We're going to build a new fire station. We're going to do a new library, whatever that might be. We average about $45 million in those type of projects annually. But we also are averaging over the next 5 years or so about $62 million in GeoBond or projects. And so we went out for a referendum for a bunch of new fire stations to renovate every single one of our libraries, basically gutting it down to just the block walls and starting over. We're going to add 12 fire stations, well, either replace or add 12 fire stations total. A lot of renovations for parks, because during the downturn they were the most affected, and there was just a backlog of projects, concession stands and such. And then the big one is our Land O'Lakes Detention Center. We're doing an addition there of about 250,000 square feet, and it's going to be about 700 beds or so addition, but all new central services. So all a new kitchen, new laundry, new intake. It's all part of this facility. All new medical. Everything will be part of that new wing. So that's a big one. We serve everybody in the county, all of our constitutionals and all departments, and so we're kind of the team behind the team that makes sure they're able to be successful. A little bit of information about where you're at. This is called the Starkey Ranch Theater, Library, and Cultural Center. This is a kind of unique library for us in that it is a shared use facility with the Pasco County School Board. So you saw the middle school, elementary school, it's a combo, just to the south of here as you were coming in. But this facility, this area right here of the facility, oops, well, my laser working? It doesn't really show up over there. But just everything just to the left of that big orange block there that you see, which is where we're gathered right now, that is a library that during school hours serves the school. And so we had to design this facility to meet Jessica Lunsford Act so that it can, the library on the north side of this facility and all of the program rooms on that north side of the main corridor is a public library. And so the public is in this building at the same time that students are in this building. And how do we handle that situation to make sure we're in compliance with the law and have both uses at the same time? So it was a really interesting design challenge. So as you're here today, you can see your egress routes are marked in green. In blue is where the restrooms are. And so feel free to wander around. At the end of the day, we'll have a little tour through this facility just to, if you see anything that you might want to take back to your cities and counties and share. So for the agenda, day one today, we thank Moss and Associates, John Bowden, who will be talking here in a second, from Moss to give us our first presentation. And they were kind enough to supply breakfast for both days, so we thank you for that. And then we'll be talking about a roundtable for our best practices on controlling costs, which we all know is really tough right now. And then we'll be talking about how things are going with this network, with Keith coming to talk about that. Our county administrator will be coming by right before lunchtime to give a little talk. And then we'll come back after lunch and talk about how we can use KPIs to kind of benchmark against one another, and what are some of those best practice KPIs that maybe we all do, and how can we start sharing those. Later this afternoon, my operations team, I told you that's kind of the behind the scenes team that supports our maintenance group. They're going to come and talk to us about some FM technology, whether it be CMMS, whether it be HVAC controls, whether it be security systems, and talk to you about what are some of the things going on in those realms and some of the future things that are coming up. Then we'll talk about that some more as a roundtable. We'll do a building tour and then give you some time to check in, and then we'll talk about maybe getting together for dinner later this evening. And so we got some good local restaurant options, and we'll talk about that at the end of the day here. Tomorrow, we are not coming back here. I'll repeat that. Do not come back here. We are going to meet at that address at 7536 State Street tomorrow morning. That's over at our West Pasco Government Center campus. There's a big cluster of buildings. It'll be very obvious this is Government Complex 101. And you'll go to that building. We will just have breakfast there, and then we'll figure out how we can carpool, because I'd like to take you to one of our prototype fire stations that's under construction right now, about 75%, maybe 60 to 75%, somewhere in that range. And Fire Station 17 we'll carpool to. Then as we're driving back, we can stop by our West Side Facilities Management Office, so you can see what it is to have facilities management in a different county other than your own, and what kind of tools and resources are available there. And then we'll take a tour around our West Pasco Government Center complex and visit some of the buildings there, because it's always nice to see how do other people do things and how are they making do. And you can take those ideas and we can share and say, wow, I do it better, or I do it, how can I do that where I'm at? And so that's what we're here to do. So then at the very end of the day, we will have a closing keynote address by one of our assistant county administrators, actually my boss. And so Eric Breitenbach will give us some words of wisdom to live by, and then we'll have Keith give us kind of some closing remarks. And that'll be the next 2 days. And just when we break for lunch, there are many lunch options available to us. Right here at the Star is where the school and library is. If you take this green road here, you'll come back out onto what is called State Road 54. State Road 54, big main highway. All along here, you can see Culver's, Wendy's, Moe's, Chicken Salad Chick, Starbucks, Publix. Just up the road, just a little bit further, Five Guys, Buffalo Wild Wings, Outback, Tijuana Flats, McDonald's. If you go even just a little bit further, you'll get to another. This is a big Walmart, Target's here, just a bunch of shops and a bunch more restaurants. So everything that you could imagine is within 5 to 10 minutes of here. You won't be starving. You'll be okay. So, told you about that we're facing challenges, told you about that jail project, and sort of my lead up here to introduce John. I'm going to show you, this is our work-in-place calculations for our capital program that we're thinking about. And you can see, I broke it out by the different colors here. The blue on this chart was sort of our normal CIP program. And we were staffed appropriately for that. And we knew we were going to be taking on that bond program, and that was going to add to our workload, and we kind of programmed that out over time. And so then the orange is the combination of those two. And so we were going to be climbing a mountain, so we staffed up. But this is also, the way this is done, this WIP, work in place, is by value. And so we measured this in millions of dollars here. And okay, at the very peak there, we were going to be at about $100 million. Okay. But what's happened? The world has gone crazy, right? Is pricing the same as it was 2 years ago? Not even close. So I haven't changed a thing. I haven't added really any projects, maybe one or two, nothing significant. But when I recalculate my WIP, now I'm at $180 million as my peak. And so that over time is just a tremendous burden that we're all struggling through. And so that leads me to John Bowden. And John it works with Moss & Associates as their senior vice president. And he's going to talk to us about how his company, which is the company that we have hired as our construction manager at risk, John, right? Yeah, at risk, to build our expansion for our Land O'Lakes Detention Center. And so that is a big challenge for us. And he's got some insight into how the market is behaving, and is going to be able to share that with us today. So we welcome John, and please give him your attention.